What's up, guys? I am really excited to show you the LG G Pad 8.3 Google Edition. It is my favorite tablet of 2013, and it is the first tablet that I can highly recommend that is not a Nexus device. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, if there's such a thing as a perfect size, I definitely think about 8 inches is the right size of a tablet. It gives you the portability that you need without feeling really big or really small. The Nexus 7 is a tablet that I own, and even when buying the Nexus 7, I stopped using it for quite some time, mainly because when the Nexus 5 came out, I just didn't really feel like I needed to jump on my Nexus 7. The screen real estate on the Nexus 5 is really large enough for me to just not feel that I need to grab my Nexus 7, but the same cannot be said about the LG G Pad. I know it seems like there's not really that much big of a difference between 7 inches and 8.3, but when you really think about it, the same thing could be said about a phone that is 4 inches versus 5 inches. There's a significant difference, and I definitely feel that this is the sweet spot per se when it comes to tablets. With that being said, I have been using the LG G Pad every single day religiously since I've bought this device. The build quality is exceptional. It is really high end. I like and I appreciate the brushed aluminum in the back. It is a fingerprint magnet, and that's okay. Devices are going to get fingerprints, but if that's something that's going to bother you, I would definitely stay away. The overall fit and finish of this device, I know it sounds everybody seems it fits really nice in the hands, but it really does feel comfortable in the hand. You could definitely hold this with one hand. As you can see, this still is, I believe, and I have normal hands, a one-handed or you can single-handedly hold this device without having any issues at all. The additions that this tablet offers is something that I also appreciate. For example, this has an IR blaster on top. You also get micro SD support with expandable storage up to 64 gigabytes of storage. So that's pretty good, which has dual stereo speakers in the back. Now, there was a small issue with that. If you lower the volume, you really can't hear it. And I know it sounds kind of odd when I say that. What I mean by that is, as you lower the volume, it starts to sound kind of funny, like it's cutting in and out. And the Nexus 7 also suffers from this problem. It's not that big of a deal on the Nexus 7, but you could definitely hear it more on the G Pad. I don't know if this is a software issue or a hardware issue, but definitely you can hear the audio quality cutting in and out. So you definitely have to raise the volume a little bit higher, which can be a problem because if you want to listen to something in a really low volume, let's say, somebody's sleeping, you definitely need to crank it up almost to midpoint. And at that point, it just becomes really loud. And so something to consider, maybe a deal breaker for some of you. The other thing I want to talk about is the display. 1920 by 1200, excellent viewing angles. Overall, the display quality is very nice. Color reproduction is accurate. The only complaint, just minor, it's not as bright as the Nexus 7 and other tablets out there. So if you are going to be using this tablet outside, that's just something to kind of take in consideration. For me, I actually use this tablet in full brightness. I kind of have to just because I tend to use my tablet more where there's direct sunlight. It looks good, but if you're going to take it outside, I would probably reconsider buying this tablet or at least test it out before you make that commitment. Now, because this is a Google Edition tablet, you are running the latest Android version of 4.4.2, and you definitely get updates really quick. As a matter of fact, most Google Edition devices get updates within probably a week or two after the release goes out to the Nexus devices. So you definitely don't have to worry there when buying a tablet like this. As a matter of fact, when I rooted this device, the process was identical to a Nexus device. So using this device almost feels like I'm using a Nexus device. I almost wish they would have branded this a Nexus, more of like a Nexus 8, because it definitely feels like it's part of that family. I probably wouldn't be recommending this tablet if it wasn't the Google Edition, if it was just the stock, LG build, just because you don't never know when these manufacturers are going to update that or if it's going to be in limbo. So definitely because it's Google Edition, that's why I ended up buying it. By the way, guys, in case you didn't know, everything I review, I buy with my money. So if I don't review something, it's because I didn't buy it nor I'm interested. So that's something to kind of keep in mind. With that being said, I'm not going to buy the Nexus 10 just because I am very happy with the form factor. So just something to keep in mind on what I mean about the ideal tablet size. I definitely think that, this tablet nailed it overall fit and finish, quality, size, everything. And that's something to think about even when Apple had different choices when creating their, let's just say, iPad mini. They had, they could have gone with a 7, they could have gone with a, 8.5, but they stuck with a 7.9, or you can say an 8-inch form factor, because ideally that seems to be, and overall I think many people may agree that it is the right size. Now this does have a rear-facing camera and a front-facing camera, and of course you're not going to buy a tablet to take pictures or video. It is there and it is a nice thing to have. I don't really use it to take videos or pictures, and all I can say is in using the video camera for testing, or at least to report back to you guys, I can say it takes pretty decent pictures and it takes pretty decent video. But like I said, nobody's really going to buy a tablet to do that. So for what it's worth, it's there in case you need it, but it's not going to win any awards in terms of video or picture quality. Now in terms of battery life, I've been using this tablet at full brightness and I can easily get through the whole entire day. If you turn the brightness down a little bit, which again, I like to use it at full brightness just because the tablet in itself is not really bright, you shouldn't have a problem getting through a day. I've actually seen other people report that they can actually go through the whole entire weekend with medium use. So it definitely won't disappoint in that department. And of course, in performance, anything you throw at it, whether you're watching videos, games, and that's probably going to be the case with most tablets or most Android devices out there, is no matter what you do, we've gotten to the point where the hardware has caught up to the software and you're definitely not going to have any issues here. So whether you're playing extensive videos or if you're going to be playing some extreme game or you're going to do some extreme gaming, you're definitely not going to have a problem. So overall, I am very happy with this tablet. Like I said, it is my favorite tablet of 2013, and I highly recommend it. If you're looking to buy a tablet that is really well built, if you're looking to buy a tablet that is going to get updates and you're not going to have a problem even with the community as far as like development or getting ROMs out there, the LG G Pad is definitely worth buying. Now the G Pad does cost a little bit more than the Nexus 7, but it's definitely worth every penny in my book. And if you don't have a tablet today, I definitely would recommend the G Pad over any tablet right now. I think this is definitely the tablet of choice if you're looking to buy one. If you already own one, then it just really depends on what your needs and wants are. It might be worth upgrading depending on the generation or the type of tablet that you have. One thing that I really didn't mention, I think it's worth noting, is that even at full brightness, this tablet does not get hot at all. It remains really cool. That's something that I really can't say on other tablets out there that get really warm. This actually stays really cool to the touch. So I just figured I'd let you guys know this is very comfortable. So if you guys liked the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, well, I guess dislike it. But if you guys want to watch more of these types of videos, make sure you do subscribe to the channel, because I will be doing a follow-up video with this and the iPad mini, which will be a pretty good showdown on the battle of smaller tablets. So anyhow, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Until next time, adios.